Hello everybody. Interestingly, I have just found out that the chairs that I've got are not tall enough for my current table. As I'm sat on one and I feel like I'm sitting really low. But actually, having said that, it might be fine for me. Anyway, I'm here because these are the uprights, which are waiting for a polish. So that is basically what I'm going to try and do now. And while I'm here, I'm actually thinking, you know what, it might be easier to try and sort of do them all together. But having said that, yeah, I think I might be better off just doing one at a time. Okay, so apologies for the slightly dodgy camera angle, but I'm going to try and give these a bit of a polish. Now they are quite dark and they are quite shiny anyway, but I'm going to stick some furniture polish on them. So what I'm going to do is check out some of my pads. I think I'll use that one as my final buffer applicator. Removal of excess. I definitely am feeling a little bit small here, which is unusual for me because I'm quite big. Oh, hang on. This needs shaking, doesn't it? Yep. I always forget that. Now, I could wait and polish the whole unit once it's all together, but a bit like with the finish, I think it's easier just to do it before I actually put it together. I haven't actually decided at which point I'm going to edit this clip in, because I might have it as the end of the Brights section, but the timing of me actually doing this is I've got one more coat to put on the first timbers of the first shelf. Okay, so get a bit on and apply. I'm going to be quite liberal with this in a way. I will tip it up. Let's go that way and stick to the routine of what I was doing with actually application and finish. Now, because the lighting isn't particularly great in here, it is going to be a little difficult for me to see exactly how the finish is looking, but I can feel it. You know, I'd missed that. That made my arm tingle, just like when doing the cabinet. That's weird. Made my arm tingle. Now this, I could actually apply it to my drill, but I don't like the idea of that. So I'm just going to go with using it as a hand application. It does feel nice. It feels lovely and smooth. Oh yeah. How does it look? Hard to tell. Do I get a decent reflection? Got a shadow. Right, let's crack on. Oh, that's a bit much on there, Dave. might be able to spread that over onto one of the others. Now, annoyingly, I haven't got myself any packing pieces that I could put underneath these. When I picked all this stuff up from the workshop, I picked up a couple of bits of scrap wood, and I actually stood there and contemplated whether I should just grab a handful of more scrap wood just in case. And you know what, in hindsight I should have done, because I need a bit of wood for a repair on the table, and would have been very useful, as I said, for packing pieces here. Take off the excess. Oh, it's killing my fucking shoulder. Oh. Now obviously you'll notice that I'm not using the buffing wheel, or should I say the buffing pad, on the orbital sander. To be honest, I got very annoyed with it, and I think I know the reason why it wasn't quite working as well as I would like. I mean, okay, it was a cheap orbital sander, even though it's a JCB. What was £35, which is cheap for an orbital sander. But I hadn't realised when I bought that the name Random Orbital Sander was actually a type of sander. I just thought it meant any, but no, lesson learned there. Basically, the sander I've got is an orbital sander, which means that the disc spins. But a random orbital sander does that but also moves around all over the place randomly, and that's why it's called a random orbital sander. I didn't know that. They are considerably more expensive and are much better for buffing, from what I have learnt. Okay, I'm quite happy with how that's looking and how that's feeling. Okay, that's one of them. Oh, so let's keep it in camera shot if we can, shall we? Now, it might not look like there's much difference, but it's in the fine details. I mean, I can feel it, I can see it. Let's get a bit of the excess off the yellow sponge. And also with applying this polish, it does mean that I am protecting the wood, hopefully, as well as giving it a nice finish. Now, as far as the corona situation goes, I woke up today to the news that Boris Johnson's got it, which I must admit is a shame. He's the first person I've voted for years. The only politician I've actually believed. But there are so many people that are obviously there's a lot of people showing support, but there's a lot of people that interestingly have been saying that he's faking it, and partly because he had said during his interview or his press conference about it that he has got a high fever and a continuous cough. but he didn't cough once during his speech. Now, personally, I actually thought a few days ago that he was looking rough, and so was a few other people commenting that he was looking knackered. And I actually thought then, I bet he's being highly medicated. And so things like a sore throat and a cough may be covered when he goes to do a press conference. But seeing as he's now basically has to isolate himself, he's had to announce that he's got it. But anyway, thing is, he has a damn good chance of he would have infected a number of people, but he's clearly been infected by others. But I was thinking today though, something weird. I've not heard of a single famous person dying of this coronavirus. Why is that? I mean, I'll leave the conspiracy theorists to contemplate that one, but anyway, what's that feeling lovely and smooth? It is nice when you feel a level of smooth and then you find there's another level of smooth. Now, with the way that I've got everything set up here, this table that I'm on at the moment is the table that I will be actually putting the shelving unit together on, because it's quite a big table and I'll be able to get around both sides of it for all of the screwing in, and it's only 2 meters away from where its final destination will be, so it should be very, very useful in the construction phase. Definitely get a shoulder ache doing this. Admittedly, I am annoyed about the orbital sander, because obviously one of the reasons for getting it was to do buffing, to protect my arms, but obviously that has not quite come about. See if it's that is smooth. Must admit, it's looking very good. Let's move these along a bit. Now, like I said, on camera it might not look like there is much of a difference, but it is the small details. I mean, looking at it, it might need a bit more of a polishing up, buffing up. Yeah, well, I'll give it, I'll wait until I've gone through them all, and then I'll give them another buffing. I've got a couple of other buffing pads I can use. The thing is, like I said, it is actually quite dark in here. I could open my curtains, but I'd end up with sunlight where I don't want sunlight. I am pretty much just using this white pad as a excess removal. I mean, I do know, because my shoulder is hurting, I'm not quite putting the effort into this buffing bit as I think it really deserves, but I don't know what else I can do. I mean, hopefully with the polish, it's not going to sort of dry up rapidly, not allowing it to be buffed up. Even though you can't see on camera, what I can now, the indented feature on this piece of wood is looking lovely with the polish on. So hopefully the bit of the shelf that I've carved, that'll also look quite nice. Oh god, my arm's actually fucking killing me. One of the things I'm going to mention, I could use this with on the drill bit. I mean, I could have done. I can't anymore because the bit that actually goes in there, I decided to get rid of it so that I wouldn't be tempted at any point to actually try it. The reason for that is using a drill, the speed and pressure would not be that easy to regulate, or at least it'd be very easy to get it wrong. You get it wrong, you burn through everything. Doing this by hand like this, there's no chance of burning through the polish and all the varnish. Also, it shouldn't really take that much to bring it up to the shine it should have. It's just I am struggling, so even just trying to get a simple polish on it is turning out to be quite painful. But it's looking good, it's looking nice, I'm liking it. I mean, interestingly, the polished ones are looking a little lighter than the non-polished ones. Now, that might be because it's reflecting more light. It could just be that they are lighter. But I noticed the first two seemed lighter and the third one is similar. There's quite a bit on there. Oh, come on, Dave, keep going. There's only a little bit more to do. Oh. Okay, yeah, this is starting to cripple me now. And the thing is, my left hand doesn't work anywhere near as well. Come on, Dave, keep going, push on. Now, I don't really need to push myself as personal challenge, I guess. I don't have to push on hard, but at the same time, I don't necessarily like leaving things unfinished. Which, for anyone that knows me, will probably go, well, what about this and what about that? Okay, yeah, there's a lot of things I've left unfinished, which is why I don't like leaving things unfinished. See? Things as well. It'd be so easy right now to just go, okay, my shoulder's hurting, I'll stop. I'll stop there. That's the easy way out. And the other way to look at it is, this is going to hurt no matter what I do. So I can either deal with the pain now and get it done, and then recover afterwards, and stop moaning, or I can give up. I don't know if you're able to actually see any difference in the shine on the video. It'd be nice if you can. Nearly knocked over the tub then. And like I said, I am going to try and give it another polish, or buffing up in a moment. And I might do it in a different position. It might help a little bit with my arm. Right, one more. Come on. Don't be a pussy. Yeah, they definitely need buffing up a little more. See, now this is where, if Twilight's watching, he'll be able to go, that's not how you polish something to a shine, and then start shouting orders at me. I won't fucking listen. Well, that's not true. I would. Oh, well, not if he was shouting at me. Oh. Come on, only a little bit more to go. Come on, keep going. It's feeling good. Right, last two sides, come on. Oh, come on, you can do it. I know it might seem stupid that this seems to be causing me so much pain, but it really is. And the thing is, it's not just in my arm. It's in my arm, my back, my legs, which might seem stupid, but the rest of my body's trying to compensate for the pain in my arm. Looking lovely. I've got to say I'm very pleased with how they appear to have come out. Let's see how. Yeah, it's feeling. Well, it's not too bad, but let's see if I can. I doubt I'll be able to fix this on it because there's not a lot left. It might work. Oh, right, so. Try going about this a slightly different way here. Give it a quick. That shine, that reflection is looking very nice. And to think, this is scrap wood. Just in case I did turn that the wrong way around. Now I must admit I am liking how I am loving the reflection that I am getting on these, which is why I'm quite pleased that I've got some LED lights that are going to go onto this, and the shiny reflections of this wood should look very, very nice. Oh, let's see if we can try it, shall we? I've already got some of these LED lights on the rest of the unit that I've built that this is going to be going on top of. Right, okay. I need a USB port. Oh, bollocks. Female end and female end. Cock. Why's that got a female end? Should have a male end. Okay, I can't show you what it'll look like. That's a bastard. I'll have to have a look at my other lights and see what they're like. I might be able to get a connector. Anyway, right, oh, I can't show you that unfortunately, but anyway, that's these done, polished, looking lovely, feeling lovely, and yeah, hopefully next time you see these will be when they're being attached to the bottom shelf. Right, see you in a bit.